Now for this hour, we start with U.S. U.S. President Donald Trump has taken a hard line on Iran's nuclear program. Trump has said that he wants zero uranium enrichment by Iran, even for civilian purposes. He has also made clear that he's unhappy with ongoing negotiations. These remarks come a day after talks in Geneva ended without a deal. While no final decision has been taken, Trump has warned that force remains an option. A significant U.S. military presence, including 2 aircraft carrier groups, is now positioned in the region. Iran denies seeking nuclear weapons and says any agreement must include lifting U.S. sanctions. Oman's Foreign Minister Sayed Badr al-Busaidi, who is mediating, says progress has been made and a deal is still within reach. Meanwhile, Secretary of State Marco Rubio has designated Iran a state sponsor of wrongful detention, raising further pressure as more talks are expected. Let's listen in to the U.S. President.
I'm not happy with the fact that they're not willing to give us what we have to have. So I'm not thrilled with that. We'll see what happens. We're talking later. We'll have some additional talks today. Well, we haven't made a final decision. We're not exactly happy with the way they're negotiating. They cannot have nuclear weapons, and we're not thrilled with the way they're negotiating. So we'll see how it all works.
When you have that much oil, so I'm not happy with the negotiation. I say no enrichment. Not 20%, 30%. They always want 20%, 30%. They want it for civilian, for civil. I think it's uncivil. So I'm not happy with it.
Now we welcome Dr. Satoru Nagao. He's a fellow at Hudson Institute, joins us live from Tokyo. Thank you very much, Dr. Nagao, for joining us again. Good to see you. Now, looking at the situation, although the talks are supposed to continue now, but yesterday's talks ended without a breakthrough. How do you analyze the current frustration of Trump, and do you think that his patience is also indeed running low?
Yes, this is very difficult because in case of the Iran, if this is the civil purpose uranium enrichment, the 3 to 5% is enough. But Iran has already achieved 60%. So why Iran needs such kind of the high level of the enrichment, Iran hasn't explained well. So that's why even if the Iran say Iran will not possess a nuclear weapon, indeed it is clear that their action indicates Iran has the will to possess nuclear weapon. And indeed, in case of the enrichment, more than 20% Iran has already got a nuclear weapon. 60% is of course more than 20%. And if Iran reach 90%, very sophisticated nuclear weapons they will possess. So that's why situation is very imminent. So even if the diplomatic negotiation has happened, and Iran tried to concede some, but anyway, without Iran change the policy drastically, the military operation is very imminent. Because the military operation will attack Iran's capability. So even if Iran has the will, so it is very difficult to possess. But without a military operation, Iran has the will and Iran has the capability. Both Iran has. In this case, Iran will possess nuclear weapon is very imminent under the current situation.
So do you think that Iran and U.S. can still reach a deal? We can only speculate here because both of them have been very stagnant or hardcore on their stance, right? U.S. is saying zero enrichment. Iran is saying they have the right, and they are saying that it's going to be for civilian use, and they would let IAEA come in for inspections, but they won't cooperate on, or they are defending on their enrichment. What now then?
I think solving this issue through negotiation is very difficult because Iran has already reached the enrichment to the 60%, and Iran has ballistic missiles, and if the Iran continues their space program, In the near future, Iran will possess a ballistic missile which can reach the United States. It will happen within 10 years, or 7 years, 8 years, people expect. But if so, just before the 7 years or 8 years, it is more difficult to stop. Now is the time to stop. So that's why, view from this situation, the military operation is very imminent, and the negotiation is not going through so easily. And if I need to add some reasons why military operation is better than the negotiation in this case, because of three reasons. Firstly, if Iran possess, Saudi Arabia or other country will possess a nuclear weapon. And secondly, Iran's nuclear weapon is a threat against Israel, which is a very small country, and it is easy to destroy by nuclear weapon. And thirdly, if Iran possesses ICBM, that nuclear weapon will reach the United States. So after they possess ICBM, the United States cannot attack Iran. So that's why now it's the latest chance to stop all of these three worst case scenarios. So that's why the America's will is relatively strong, and Iran will not concede. So that's why the military operation is very near, I think.
Thank you very much, Dr. Naga, for sharing that insight. Please do stay with us as we come back to you for our next discussion as well. Now, meanwhile, the United Nations has expressed concerns on Friday over rising military movements in the Middle East. UN spokesperson Stephanie Dujarric has urged all parties to focus on diplomacy amid heightened tensions. U.S. President Donald Trump has expressed frustration over stalled nuclear talks with Iran. Talks in Geneva has ended on Thursday without a deal, though Omani mediator Sayed Badr al-Busaidi has said progress was made. Trump has warned that force could be used, citing a major U.S. military presence in the region. Iran denies seeking nuclear weapons and wants sanctions lifted in any agreement. Let's listen in.
The Secretary General welcomes the continuation of the indirect talks mediated by Oman between the Islamic Republic of Iran and the United States of America. He calls on the parties to continue to work with determination and in good faith towards a lasting agreement. He also emphasizes that full and comprehensive IAEA verification is essential for any successful resolution of the Iran nuclear issue.
Now we move on. Canada has announced the temporary